to share the news with you. Hey, you want to see my cows? Well, you can only see one of them. Hold on. I don't know if that's working. Right over there. There's one of my cows right at my house, man. Right at my house. Keeping an eye on those buggers after they got out. But, anyways, this can be a great show, and I'm going to start out by talking about the EPA case. But there's some really disastrous new polling numbers for Biden. But primetime Alex Stein, if you haven't seen him, is getting all kinds of free press, and I'm going to talk about his strategy there, very Trumpian, if you will, strategy. Good to see you on. I see Bob Seymour on, I think. Anyways, so all kinds of good things happening, good things taking place. But in addition, there are some troubling things out there as well. Hey, Izzy Dogs, good to see you on. Smash that like as you come in. Chat it up with where you're from, if you would, please, and let us know. Let us know where you're from, what you're up to. Hey, real quickly before I get into the news, and there's more news here. I've got there's a big story on Starbucks here that I really want to get to you because it defines the left's problem so clearly. But before I get into that, My Pillow is having their biggest sheet sale of the year. The per sale sheets are available in a variety of colors and sizes and are on sale now. For example, the queen size regular price of $89.98 is now only $39.98 with promo code Lumberjack. That's right. Now, I have not tried, quick disclaimer, the per sale sheets. I am so sold on the Giza sheets, I just can't even try anything else. But the per sale sheets are breathable, have a cool and crisp feel. They come with a 10-year warranty and 60-day money-back guarantee. So it's an incredible offer, big sale going on. So, hey, just a guy having fun is on. Good to see you. Donald, good to see you on. Wow, who else we got on here? But anybody on from Wisconsin? I want to see if any Wisconsinites are out there celebrating the big win for election integrity that took place out in the great state of Wisconsin. Do you guys realize that drop boxes have been banned in the state of Wisconsin? There should be further consequences of that. You are going to see things shaking out. Robin Voss is running like, oh, get me out of here. I don't want to talk about that. While Tim Rampton's ramping up. No, so there was a big win there. There's been some others, but there's also a troubling thing with the Electoral Count Act, with the ECA that's taking place, okay? So for those who don't know, now I read Protect Democracy is all behind this. If you don't know about Protect Democracy, they're basically a bunch of far left wackies, okay? So anything therefore, I'm automatically against, okay? So that's just a real thing. But, I guess without further ado, I want to get into this. First off, New York Times is running cover for Ray Epps. Do you guys realize this? Ray Epps, yes, that's right. Let's go talk a little January 6th here. Ray Epps, the New York Times is running cover for him. They did a full-day interview with him, and I'm going to give you a few of the highlights. This is wild. Okay, they're running cover for a Trump supporter. That's what they're calling him. Okay, it's not just any purported Trump supporter. This out of Becker News. But the mystery man whose activities evidently sparked the first violent confrontation between rioters and police on January 6th. So if you don't know who Ray Epps was, he was out running around the night before on January 5th. Hey, we've got to go in the building. We're going to go in the building. That's the way it is, right? And then furthermore, the next day he's up there trying to get people to crash the guards, okay? That was taking place. So this guy, he was on the FBI's most wanted list or wanted list, whatever, out of the J6, and then they took his picture down. They got rid of it, okay? But he is the only guy that we have on video and through vocals in full length mode, both the night before and the day of, trying to incite a real insurrection, if you will. Okay, he was actually, we're gonna go in there, we're gonna do this, and the FBI has no interest in this guy. People, they have no interest in him, and now the New York Times is running a whole feature story on him. Listen to this. You guys, okay, here we go. I'm going into my snobby British accent. It is the New York Times. Please do smash that like and keep chatting it up. Up a winding country road in a trailer park a half mile from a cattle ranch lives a man whose life has been ruined by a January 6th conspiracy theory, the Times narrated in prosaic tones. Ray Epps has suffered enormously in the past 10 months as right-wing media figures, and Republican politicians have baselessly described him as a covert government agent who helped to instigate the attack on the Capitol last year. The Times adds sympathetically, I kid you not. Strangers have assailed him as a coward and a traitor and have menacingly cautioned him to sleep with one eye open. The Times continues, he was forced to sell his business and his home in Arizona. Fearing for his safety and uncertain of his future, he and his wife moved into a mobile home in the foothills of the Rockies with all their belongings crammed into shipping containers in a high desert meadow a mile or two away. And for what? Lies? Mr. Epps asked the other day in a look of pained exhaustion. All of this, it's just been hell. Okay, look, you want to know what's hell? What about the lady who's dying with cancer, who's stuck in there now? Okay, come on. This is ridiculous. Anyways, here's Carl Becker's point. It wasn't just that the old gray lady has bent over backwards to exonerate Epps. Extremely odd behavior for people who are for the political persecution of any Trump supporters at the Capitol building that day. But Democrats and members of the partisan January 6th committee, okay? So they're in on it too. Here's Adam Kinzinger. I kid you not. I know this will break some hearts. For a few months, people like Tucker Carlson, MTG, Gates, and now Cruz have been just asking questions about a man named Ray Epps. Adam Kinzinger's in on it too now. So it's not just the New York Times, it's your J6 committee, okay? I can't read anymore. I just want you to know that's going on. You know that Ray Epps is the real deal. He's got to be some paid informant on the inside if the New York Times and Adam Kinzinger are going all in for him. Which leads me to the next story. Meet the ex-CIA agents deciding Facebook's content policy. That's right. It is a venerable plethora, folks, of ex-CIA agents and FBI people who are managing Facebook moderation policy. Okay? So, and I watched this video of this guy named Aaron. He identified himself as the manager of the team that writes the rules for Facebook. Yeah, that's right. I can't say Facebook. Facebook. Determining what is acceptable and what is not. Thus, he and his team effectively decide what content the platform's 2.9 billion active users see and what they don't see. Aaron is being interviewed in a bright warehouse turned studio. He is wearing a purple sweater and blue jeans. He comes across a very likable, smiley person. It's not an easy job, of course, but someone has to make those calls. Transparency is incredibly important in the work that I do, he says. From the CIA! He was one of these senior analyst people. You would never guess this from his Facebook video, okay? But that's Aaron Berman, okay? And he was a senior analytical manager at the Central Intelligence Agency for 17 years. He wrote and oversaw intelligence analysis to enable the president and senior U.S. officials to make decisions on the most crucial national security issues, okay? But it's not just him. It's Deborah B. She's also from the CIA. Cameron Harris, he's Trust and Safety, former CIA guy, Cameron Harris, okay? And Emily Vasher, she was with the FBI, special agent, supervisory special agent, and so on. We all know this leads back to Ray Epps, who we were just talking about. But here, I want to give you guys a story of winning. Those are kind of troubling things, but that's what's going on at Facebook, people. They are complete, and Google's the same way. And here we are, you know, we're talking on YouTube and all this, but I am telling you, they're no better. I showed you that the other day when I did a search of Pedo Pete on Google and then also on Brave. Brave just gave me results. Google gave me a warning that this is a developing story and you need to check back very unreliable sources. Okay, so, but this is a big one. Listen to this. Maybe you caught this story, but a federal court granted a request for discovery and documents, okay, from top-ranking Biden officials and social media companies to get to the bottom of their collusion to suppress and censor free speech. No one has had the chance to look under the hood before, but now we do. So this is a big deal, and you can read the whole decision. But this was from Eric Schmidt, okay, and they filed this case, and you need to understand that before we haven't had a look under the hood. Okay, and all of these social media giants were censoring stories on the 2020 election. Okay, they were censoring stories on, the pandemic and the responses to that. So all of that, as well as January 6th and so on. I could go on with all the stuff that they censored, but this has been granted discovery, people. Okay, this is a big deal. This is in the United States District Court of Louisiana, Monroe Division. Okay, so this is a big thing. This may be finally where we see some justice. Okay, now on to the next story. Starbucks has shuttered 16 stores in major cities over a surge in crimes. But here's the real kicker. You need to hear a few key comments on this. Now, I got this out of Washington Examiner, out of the Restoring America. I'm going to read this in its entirety. It's very good. It's pretty short, too. Starbucks is closing 16 of its stores nationwide, including one in Washington, D.C., after store managers reported an increase in drug use among customers in major cities across the United States. 6 of the stores will be closed in Los Angeles, 6 of the coffee giant's hometown of Seattle, 2 in Portland, Oregon, 1 in Washington, D.C., 1 in Philadelphia by the end of the month. The employees of the affected stores will be reassigned to other stores in the area. Although the company is only closing 16 out of the nearly 9,000 stores nationwide, the closures come as employees report feeling unsafe in the stores because employees say they are witnessing an increase in drug use, thefts, and assaults, according to the Wall Street Journal. Now, we've seen that all over. People are so brazen now, and I've talked to my friends who are in big city police forces. They can't even do anything with these shoplifters just walking out with everything, okay? Bad, expensive coffee. Thank you, Park Pat. Totally. I will not. I haven't bought Starbucks for I don't know how many years. Years ago, they said if you support traditional marriage, they didn't want your business. So guess what? I honored their request. I was out at that point, okay? Because I actually believe in that. Okay. We read every incident report you file. It's a lot, U.S. operations lead Debbie Stroud and Denise Nelson told U.S. employees on Monday, according to the outlet. We cannot serve as partners if we don't first feel safe at work. Oh, because they're partners, okay? The corporation is also giving managers greater control over the hours of their stores, seating arrangements, and the power to restrict access to the bathrooms in order to alleviate some of the safety concerns. Employees will also be trained in how to handle active shooter scenarios and how to de-escalate conflict with customers, a Starbucks spokesperson told the outlet. Now, here's what's so interesting. It is Starbucks and the woke-tards that brought these policies on that are creating the very dilemma that they're now having a challenge with. And listen to what Howard Schultz said. If Howard Schultz is the CEO of Starbucks, listen to this. Like so much of the world right now, the Starbucks business as it is built today is not set up to fully satisfy the evolving behaviors, needs, and expectations of our partners and customers. Let me read that again. Like so much of the world right now, the Starbucks business as it is built today is not set up to fully satisfy the evolving behaviors, needs, and expectations of our partners or customers. Are you guys catching that statement? Aloha's on. Good to see you on, Aloha Prepper. Okay. This is complete garbage. To satisfy, they're not set up to satisfy the evolving behaviors, needs, and expectations of our partners and customers. You mean like the customers actually figure that people shouldn't be doing drugs in their store? That kind of evolving? Okay. Hey, glad you like the birds in the background. Yeah, I decided to do this out on the deck tonight. There's a little bit of a sunset going on over there too, so it's pretty over that way. I just got my first bit of rain. It's supposed to rain here in a little bit. Listen to this though. This is really interesting for such a woke corporation. More than 6,600 Starbucks employees have attempted to unionize in 30 states. Employees in 133 locations have unionized so far, citing concerns over benefits, operations, and staffing. Okay. An outlet in Buffalo, New York was the first to unionize last year. So here they are. Starbucks employees are attempting to unionize because these wokesters aren't getting... See, this is the problem with wokeism. This is the problem with liberalism. It's a mental disorder. So they create policy, right? Because they're going to be so into social justice. They are in denial. So into social justice that they're going to do all these great things, but then it all goes awry because the very policies that they're trying to enact in the states, I mean, we're talking Oregon, right? In Washington State, Portland, Seattle, Starbucks out of Seattle. Okay, think of this. Right now in Washington, was it just strictly Seattle? I don't know if you guys saw the story, but some time ago, they were going to not really go after prosecuting rape crimes. Yeah, for real. So this is what happens to them, and then they have to deal with this stuff, but they can't admit they're wrong. Okay. Now, this is one of the greatest stories. So if you guys haven't seen Alex Stein, he's kind of this guy who goes around and he trolls the left. Well, the DC Comedy Club, this is a new headline, has canceled a show by Alex Stein after the heckling of AOC at the Capitol. Okay, think about this. All right. First off, AOC freaks out and tweets all over about this guy. Now his videos had 1.6 million views. Alex Stein is getting all kinds of press. He does this, if you haven't seen the video, he's like, oh, hey, AOC, I love you, AOC, I love your booty, your beautiful Latina booty, oh, and all this stuff, okay? It's kind of ridiculous, but he's just trolling her. He gets the response. This is very Trump-like, okay? So you troll people, you get a response, and you get free press. Alex Stein's a genius at this point. So, AOC, she gets all upset. Then she deletes the tweet, and then she's crying about. First, she's crying about getting talked about how he's, about how her beautiful booty, and now she's. It's just. So first she's crying about that. Then she's crying about the fact that she posted the tweet that she had to take down because she was giving him too much credence. He's blowing up all over. Everybody's viewing him more, and he's getting all this free press out of it. And now the comedy club cancels him, so that makes more headlines. Alex Stein continues to grow in popularity and fame by the very virtue of them trying to cancel him. It's just a joke. Anyways, not really good news, but kind of good news in a sense, okay? The wholesale prices shoot up a near record 11.3% in June on a surge in energy costs. In addition to that, we just saw 9.1% come out of the regime on the inflation numbers. Now, here's the real kicker, though. Inflation really isn't 9.1%. You guys all know that, right? Okay. At least Alex didn't call her a breakfast taco. I just saw that, Quentin. That's fantastic. That's right. That's right, Jill. Breakfast taco. These Latinos, they got so much variety. They're like a Mexican breakfast taco. Hasta la vista, baby. Oh, Jill. Jill. See, it always comes out. Do you guys remember when Bill Clinton was talking about Barack Obama? This guy wouldn't carry our bags. So, anyways. But, so we've got, hey, Rez. There's Rez, the miracle cow. She's looking at me. Okay, right off the deck here. I got the cows up in the yard, mowing the yard. Anyways, but the 11.3%. Now, you guys all know that inflation isn't 9.1%, right? Okay. So what do you think the inflation numbers are? I'm curious, you as the audience, what do you think the inflation numbers are? What's real inflation right now? What do you think real inflation is? And I'm going to wait for your response on that. I'll read a little bit of this here really quickly. The producer price index rose 11.3% from a year ago in June, near the record 11.6 in March. I've got 9.1. That's I got 20%. I had let me see back here. I got 18.1%, 30%, 20%. 17 to 18%. Exactly. So, CD, you're right. It's right around that 17 to 18 number. Last month, it was around 16%. So what they did was they bastardized the inflation numbers because of the Carter administration years ago. And so now they're saying it's 9.1, but that's off these goofy numbers, right? Your wallet says it's higher, Delinda, because it's even higher than the 17 to 18% because the things that you really need, like gas and groceries and energy, have soared so much. Okay. So us as consumers, right? It doesn't matter if an iPhone goes up only 2%. Okay. That doesn't matter to us. We have to put food on the table. We need to be able to heat our homes. Over in Germany right now, they're setting up warming houses because of their brilliant policy there with Putin over there. And they keep trying to talk about Putin's price hike, Putin's price hike. Well, then just get out of there and let's not see it. Okay. I mean, I was just reading a book by Bill O'Reilly, and it was Killing the SS. And you know what it was about? Nazis in Ukraine, man, that was constantly from Ukraine. So they have obviously had a problem with this over the years, okay? But now they're looking at setting up warming houses because of their stupidity over in Germany. Smash that like if you would, if you're just jumped on the stream, and keep chatting it up. Ohio gas today, $3.99. We're at like $4.60 here in Minnesota. But I mean, I hope it goes down. I really do. I don't think it's going to go down here in any real terms before the election, which is why the Democrats are having a panic attack. I mean, Joe Biden's selling out our strategic petroleum reserve to China. Do you guys realize that? Have you guys seen that? Joe Biden is selling out our strategic petroleum reserves to China. We're at the lowest level we've been in I don't know how many years in the strategic oil reserves. It's obscene. And he's selling it out for favors from the Chinese government. Okay. Well, his son Hunter is using that money to spend on prostitutes and stuff. But you know what? I mean, whatever. He goes spends his money however he wants. If he wants to go weigh crack and chase prostitutes, I guess whatever. But my real concern is where that money's coming from and how they have sold us out. Okay, it's absolutely ridiculous. So the jobless claims jumped to 244,000 last week, the highest level since November. And then they try to say that the core PPI was 6.4%. Okay. If you take out food, energy, and trade, well, we can't take out food and energy. Okay. That's not what we get to do. So they try to isolate inflation. Then they use these bogus numbers. Like they try to say, well, what the technological improvements you've gotten, it's actually your products aren't really more, they're actually less because you're getting more with the same amount of money. It's absolutely nuts how they do this and how they pull this stuff. But here's the biggest story, okay, folks, and this is where I want to give you the really good news. Okay, the really good news from Glendon, Minnesota. Rainmaker 2, good to see you on. Okay, here's the thing. From this is out of CNN Business, and they're having a freak out. So listen to this. Okay. Thank you, SC Greetings. The Supreme Court's EPA decision is a wake-up call. Congress must act now. This out of CNN. Okay. They're freaked out about this. I'm going to tell you why. If you read the decision by the Supreme Court on the EPA case, it is an indictment of all federal agencies usurping Congress and using regulatory power to make laws. Okay. That's what's going on. That's why the left is in freak out over this case over the EPA. It's not just that they're concerned about greenhouse emissions. And honestly, people, you need to understand that some of the people on the left are really concerned about that. I mean, some people have really been duped. Not yet, Lisa. It hasn't happened yet. And I've actually got another one. I was supposed to interview another politician. I'm just responding to a super chat here, folks. Lisa had asked me if she missed the Scott Jensen interview. No, I talked to him on the phone about a month ago, before I got involved with my mom and all the taking care of her before she passed away. And so for those who don't know, I was taking care of my mom anyway. She passed away, and it was just a difficult time, and it just took up everything. And right now I've been on my suburban project with my kids, and I'm enjoying spending time with them. But the whole thing with this EPA situation is that it's an indictment of all these federal agencies. And basically the Supreme Court is now telling federal agencies that they do not have the power to make law. Okay? So watch this. Listen to this. The Supreme Court's ruling limiting the EPA's authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions is a wake-up call for Congress to pass urgent and meaningful legislation on climate and clean energy. The ruling not only impedes on the federal government's ability to slow climate change, it also sets an alarming precedent. This is what they're so freaked out about, that may inhibit other federal agencies from enacting critical climate policies to protect the lives and livelihoods of American people. Oh, no. Suzanne DeBianca, That's who wrote this piece for CNN. That's not your only concern. What about the Second Amendment? What about the Bureau of ATF? Yes, the ATF. What about alcohol, tobacco, and firearms with their crazy regulations? Do you know that they just actually are right now? They're charging a YouTuber who kind of advertised for printed cards. Thank you, Donald. With these printed cards to turn your AR-15s into something else and stuff. Anyways, but it's not a gun, so they can't regulate it through the act that was passed. It's just quick. I'm trying to remember. It was the Firearms Control Act, the FCA. Was that what it was? Somebody on here is going to be able to help me. But it was back in the 1930s, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed it into law. But it was basically this act. It was passed by Congress, so it became law. They were infringing on the Second Amendment, though, so it's kind of beyond the scope of the Constitution. I could do a whole thing on that. But the bottom line is, and somebody's going to comment with the actual law that was written back in the 30s. I know somebody on here who follows Second Amendment. But that law basically was a law. Okay, they actually went through Congress and got a law. That's what banned fully automatic firearms, because you used to be able to own them. Some of our founders owned, cannons and stuff. Okay. Yes, NFA, National Firearms Act. Thank you, Stanley and Gary. Yes. So now it's they're not only concerned about oh my gosh, greenhouse gas emissions and the EPA being able to regulate climate change. They're concerned about every federal agency. This is dealing with telling ranchers in Montana that they can't do things on their land because of the wetlands stuff and whatever else. So listen to this though. We cannot allow climate change action to remain a deeply entrenched political issue. Jurisdictional and corporate decision makers must work together to drive climate solutions that will ensure a safe and healthy future for all Americans. Last year, the House approved the Build Back Better Act, which included hundreds of billions in clean energy tax credits. But the legislation stalled due to disagreements over what should be included in the final text. With key senators now discussing a new version of this budget measure, it's imperative that they move quickly to improve ambitious climate provisions. Ambitious. This kind of investment in clean energy would enable increased deployment of new technologies across a variety of sectors, like renewable energy, transport, and manufacturing, to get to net zero faster and decrease our reliance on fossil fuels. I love fossil fuels. What's this whole thing with fossil fuels? Do you people honestly think that some dinosaur died and got fossilized and turned into oil? I think there were just oil deposits in the earth. Anyways. I learned all this in school, and I question everything I learned in school at this point. Okay? Now listen to this. This is where it gets so good. These people are so foolish. Ideally, a greater investment in clean energy would also reduce carbon pollution and spur innovation by creating hundreds of thousands of new green jobs annually as we scale wind, solar, carbon storage, transmission, and other low-carbon solutions. If there's one form of power I hate more than anything, it's that wind power. If that doesn't suck, I don't know what is. Have you guys ever been driving along? I'm a photographer, okay? Hey, thanks, Independent Mini just posted my photography channel. That's right. Anyways, but I'm a photographer, and I'm like driving along, seeing some beautiful, panoramic, feral, beautiful, just gorgeous scene. And then all of a sudden, freaking windmills, site polluting, nasty, bird killing windmills. It's disgusting. It's just stupid. And then you know what? They can't even dispose of the blades. And they're having the problem over in Germany. They're not even lasting as long. They're filling up landfills with this stuff, okay? But hey, Al Gore went from 1 million after he lost the election to, 1.5 years later. I had read an article on him. He was worth like $100 million. It's ridiculous. It's all about money. Don't ever kid yourselves. Cleaning the air by targeting methane pollution through the methane emissions reduction plan. These idiots, methane, they're talking about like my cows over here, cow farts. Are you guys worried about cow farts? Okay, do you know that there was just as many, if not more, bison roaming the prairies? They're bigger animals that probably farted more. There was more farting bovine type creatures when we weren't even here. Okay, these Native Americans running around shooting them, man. I bet the liberals would have been like, shoot them all, shoot them all. But no, they're not, because they don't want to kill the bison. They want the bison running around here like mad, farting up a storm. Oh, gosh. Anyways, implementing incentives and investments for domestic clean energy supply chains as well as sustainable manufacturing. Increasing equity and access to clean energy for lower income communities. And then they're telling you all about the power. Oh my gosh. And all these power grids like in Northern California. Don't charge your electric car. They're telling them not to charge their electric cars. What are you supposed to do? Farts matter. Thanks, Donald. So, and then she runs on and talk. I can't anymore. Anyways, that's what they're worried about, though. I mean, these people talk like idiots, but the fact is they're shaking in their booties because we have had great decisions coming out of this court, and decisions that are going to lower the effects that federal agencies can have on your life. Unelected bureaucrats that have been in Washington, D.C. for 20, 30, 40 years and are trying to tinker around with levers they shouldn't be tinkering with and mess up your life. And we need somebody with the balls. We need somebody to elect somebody with the balls to go in there and just take them all down. I mean, just fire the top 5 layers, okay? Put the fear of firing in them. Okay, what are they going to do to put a plug up our butts and keep our in? I don't know, Lisa. They are going to try. They're going to try to start plugging your butts now. And then you're going to get a fart and that cork's going to go flying out across the room. Oh my gosh, these people are stupid. Hey, Revere Coffee Company, reverecoffeecompany.com. Promo code Lumberjack saves you 10%, and you are going to get coffee, me, here in America, by Patriots. It's not going to be some wokester crap Starbucks that now has to pull out of 16 cities because of the crime policies that they help perpetuate. Okay? So get some Revere Coffee, reverecoffeecompany.com. Promo code Lumberjack saves you 10%, supports the show. And by all means, support Mike Lindell at MyPillow, mypillow.com. Promo code Lumberjack again. And also, if you're looking for freeze-dried food, My Patriot Supply, the link is in the description below, okay? And my friend actually bought a freeze dryer and is freeze drying some food because he's trying to prepare for things. So I'm doing my best to prepare as best I can, but we can only prepare so well. And then the other point of it is people are going to need help, and you're going to check people. The sunset's popping. Do you guys want to see it? I think you want to see it. The sunset's really looking cool. I'm going to show it to you. Okay. Hold on. There. Oh, wait. There it is. There's through the trees. Hold on. There you go. Look at that, folks. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? And, the problem is here, if I can get this, maybe if I can expose here, I can't change it on the video. It doesn't look as good as it really is, people. It's just, here, if I can move right there. It's getting, the highlights are getting blown out. Okay, but that's the little lake behind my house. It's about 80 acres. It hooks around over there. There's nobody else on this lake. Nobody. It's just me and my cows. Check this out. Here, I'll show you my cows too. Back here just eating away. Look at that. Those are some good looking cows, aren't they? Huh? That's right. I gotta get one more. I lost my cow over the winter. Yeah, that sucked, and lost her and her calf. So anyways, but look, people, don't give up, okay? And don't let discouragement or despair get you down. I'm serious about this. Pay attention to me right now. This is, God is on his throne. He promises to take care of the righteous, okay? So love God first and foremost, okay? Be confident in the fact that he loves you. Okay. Thanks for all the comments. Yeah, it's beautiful out there. Um, blessed is the man who walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on it he meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree planted by rivers of water that brings forth its fruit in its season. Okay? Brings forth its fruit in its season. Okay? Everything he does shall prosper. With the wicked, it is not so. They are like the chaff which the wind drives away. I want you to understand that these wicked people who are doing these wicked things, they're going to be driven away like the chaff, okay? In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Thank you, Shauna D. Okay? They think they're so big. They think they're so high and mighty, but they are just people, okay? Just like you and I. And they're not going to win. They're not going to win. You are. You are. Okay? Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Lean not on your own understanding. All right? All right. I love y'all. Okay? Keep the faith. And it's all going to be all right. And I'm just not doing as many videos right now, partly because there's two reasons. One, I needed some time off. I needed to spend time with my kids. And so if you want to catch me a little more regular, I'm on my Neil of the North channel on some days too. So you can check that out. Donald can probably share that that link with you here in the chat, but it is linked in the description below. But I am rebuilding a 1993 Suburban, and I'm making it so that it's going to be our hunting rig, but we're soundproofing it and everything. It's a big fun project. Oh, here's Faith the cow. There she is. Check her out right off my deck. Hey Faith, how's it going, girl? How's it going? You doing all right? Yeah, Faith, she's a good girl. She's a good girl. Anyhow. Who's a good girl? That's right. Oh, and here's Rez, the miracle cow, coming up. Look at that. That cow, wait, oh, right there. I mean, can you believe that thing? That cow was dead. If you guys haven't watched the miracle cow story on my channel, go watch it. Check it out, all right? If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And go check it out on Neil in the North if you like vehicles and big gas burning vehicles, though. I'm not all into electric yet, all right? Peace out.